Go!
Oh, jeez. Sorry? Hello, I'm Dr. Throat Wobbler Mangrove, MD, PhD, BS, FU, and I'm also a dentist. I'll be your host tonight for the cell experience. Questions we'll answer tonight. What are cells? Do we need cells? Do I have cells? Yes, you do. Now, cells make up every living thing. Every living thing. Me, this desk, which is now dead but was living, and you. Yes, even you. But what a cell is made of, you might be asking. Yourself. Or whoever's near you. You could be asking them because they're near you. And I'm here to answer that question. Cells have, 15. Yes, 15, count them, 15 main parts. There are the cell wall, which is only in plant cells, you must understand, because they need to be more rigid and not moving. It's to keep all the stuff that wants to get in them out of them, because they don't want it getting in them. There's also the cell membrane, which keeps the cell in a nice shapely shape, because we don't want it getting all spread out and then it would just be a pile of goop. That goop would be cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the stuff inside the cell that everything kind of floats in, like Jell-O with stuff in it. Cytosol makes up cytoplasm. It's the more liquidy stuff of Jell-O, like liquidy Jell-O. Inside of the cytoplasm, there are many organelles. Organelles are small organs that live only in cells. The most important one is, of course, the nucleus. Think of this as a big brain type thing, only floating in the jello-y goop. It controls everything and holds the chromosomes, or the genetic information that tells the cell exactly what kind of cell to be. Because if it didn't know what kind of cell to be, it would just be, well, who knows, you could have another arm coming out of your head or something. Let's see, inside of the nucleus is the nucleolus. That's kind of like the brain of the brain, sort of. There's also the Golgi apparatus, which, let's see, that is, it's got a funny name, kind of. That's, we'll come back to that. There's the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, which is endoplasmic reticulum that transports things through the cell. And then there's also the rough endoplasmic reticulum, which carries ribosomes along with it. Now, ribosomes make protein in the cell and are very important. And the difference between the smooth and the rough is, of course, one looks smooth because it doesn't have ribosomes, and one is rough because it does. It's all bumpy and such. Inside of plant cells, there's another very important organelle, and that is the chloroplast, which is the green thing that takes light from the sun and turns it into chemical energy. That chemical energy, of course, has to be processed by the mitochondria. They break down things like sugars and such into usable energy for the cell. This process is known as chemical synthesis. There's also the vacuoles, which hold things before the mitochondria can break them down. Let's see. If you were looking at my notes now, and you're going to have to cut the movie. Oh, welcome back. Yes, after moments of long, hard, grueling, sweaty research, we have discovered what Golgi apparati are. They modify, collect, and distribute molecules made within the cell from area to area. They are much like FedEx men, except without tight pants. Another very important part of the cell is the lysosome. They're kind of like the garbage men. They get rid of or digest things that the cell doesn't want. And the last important structure of a cell are the microtubules. These have been recently discovered by electron microscopes. They are tubes made up of protein that are used to make structures involving cellular movement. But that's all very nice and well. But it's just really, really boring. Sorry. It's really boring. You know, perhaps you'd like this better. my biology students have volunteered to demonstrate exactly what the cell wall does.
Ross is in there, and that's his cell wall. And these are intruders trying to get inside the cell. Observe what happens when the cell wall is invaded by intruders. Notice that Ross is completely alright inside his protective cell wall. And no matter how much they bat at him, he is completely fine. Now say a very, very large intruder, I want to say, disable him. And notice he is completely alright because the cell wall has protected him. But that's enough.
Stop it.
You can be done now. Ross, you okay?
Yeah.
He's okay. Now lysosomes are another very important part of the cell. They pick up dead cells and things that the cells don't want inside of them and get rid of them and carry them off.
I got one.
Oh. You're in. Oh, good. Come on. Now the nucleus is at the very center of the entire cell, controlling everything that goes on. It's kind of like a political leader of sorts. Yes, exactly like that. Endoplasmic reticulum is another very important part of the cell. It transports things from one area to another. There are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. One is smooth. It just takes things from one area to another. Observe. Now taking a log from over there to over here. The other type of endoplasmic reticulum is rough endoplasmic reticulum, where ribosomes grab on. Stacy in this case is a ribosome. Observe. It's rough because she is also grabbing on. Yes, exactly like that. Vacuoles are another important part of the cell. They're bubbles in the cytoplasm that store food or other things. Thank you for joining us tonight on MythCinema Presents The Cell. But we're going to have to extinguish our filming because, let's face it, it wasn't that good. Thank you. These are thin tubes made of protein that are used to make structures involved in cellular movement such as asphagia.
Shut up. What is
that word? Because it looks like asphagia.